Hello and welcome. This is Chris-Ann and I'm coming at you from Elemental Energies with Chris-Ann. I have what I think is my most favorite page from my journal that I'm creating called Season of the Witch, and I'm actually creating two of them. This is something that I have been designing for a couple of months in my head, and I finally started putting it together this month for this journal. This is my Witch's Apothecary. This page, it's already attached to one of the pages that is going to be going into one of the many signatures within my journal. And I'm actually creating two journals. This paper that it's on is a coffee stained paper. The paper itself is copy weight coffee stained paper. This paper is brown cardstock. This is the Hobby Lobby brown cardstock. It's 110 pound. It's very substantial. It's a really good, very nice heavyweight cardstock. You need something heavyweight for this. But let me show you my designs. So on top of the Witch's Apothecary, we have 3 plants with different things, foliage coming out of them. I hand cut these. These are die cuts. The Witch's Conical Hat is a rubber stamp that I fussy cut. The cloche is a rubber stamp that I fussy cut. The vines is a die cut. The lock closure is a die cut. Everything else is 100% my creation here that you see on the front. This is my design. I did the math. I created this one. I have rubber stamped this to make it look like it's a wooden cabinet with little feet. I did do a stencil in the background of a spider web. I'm not going to replicate that one on the one we're going to do today. These papers are papers that I have hand decorated, and the papers throughout are papers that I have hand decorated, and you may have seen my videos. If not, go back and look. I have shown how I decorate papers using Distress Oxide sprays, using Distress Oxide ink pads, using mica sprays, Lindy's mica sprays, Tim Holtz mica sprays, all of it, even Delusion sprays, all of it. There's a couple videos that I have on my channel. Go check them out. These are cardstock weight papers for this particular project. And then, like I said, I hand cut these. But this is nothing compared to what's on the inside. Let's check it out. I am so proud of this particular project. I've really been working on this for a long time. And if you've been following my channel, you know that I've been collecting things like from Temu and all the different craft stores to create this project. So I have put a piece of Velcro here that obviously I need to glue down a little bit better right there. So this is a die cut. I just added some Velcro behind it. And then look what's on the inside of our Witch's Apothecary. Isn't that adorable? So all of these are papers that I have hand decorated. Those are all cardstock weight papers, these bottles. I have stamped these and then fussy cut them out. A couple of these are die cuts, but that's not all. There's more. I sound like an infomercial. If you followed my videos before, you know I am big on my journals being used for functional journaling. This project is no exception. Haha, wait, you will see. I not only have created the Witch's Apothecary, but if you pull the bottom shelf out, there is hidden journaling. And I have attached some bottles right here just to add some decoration. How cute is that? I just think this is adorable. So let's get cracking. Let's make this together. This is a very involved project. This is not a quick, easy, simple project like most of my other projects are. I hopefully can get through this in one video. If not, we're going to do 2 videos. So let's move this aside. I have some instructions here. Please take a screenshot of the instructions if you would like them. I have them nowhere else. This is it. Let me get cracking and show you what this actually means. So first, little bit of instruction here is you need to cut 2 inches from the short side. Keep in mind, I have my small paper cutter here. So this is being cut. This is what I'm calling the short side. It may not be in your mind, but in my mind it is. So what are we cutting? We're cutting 2 inches, right? Yeah, cut 2 inches. Keep that piece. Then the next thing we're going to do is fold it into thirds. If you want to just fold it into thirds, go ahead. I have actually measured, which is not something I normally do. And I have my scoreboard out. Now, my scoreboard is smaller than my paper. We're going to make do. So we are going to fold it into thirds at 2.5 inch on each side. I mean, 2.25 inch. Sorry, 2.25 inch. And this right here is my 2.25 inch part. So I have that. And what I'm going to do is turn my paper around. Find the line once again. 2.25. And that's as far down as I can go right there. Let's move this out of the way, and then we are going to fold this. Let me get my bone folder out so I can finish with that crease right there. Let's fold this, finish that crease right there. So this is what we have now. So we finished this step. We have finished this step. Cut 2 1-inch pieces from the cutoff. This is the cutoff. Let's cut 2 1-inch pieces. These are going to be the little legs, the little feet that are on my cupboard. So we have those. Let's put those over there. Okay, so we've done 3 steps already. Finished, finished, finished. Cut the remainder cut off into, actually, we're going to do this part a little later because I came up with something a little bit better for that. Now, we're going to skip to this one. So we're skipping the step and we're jumping right down here. Cut off 2.5 inches from the tri-fold piece. So 2.5 is that. So we have this, we can use that. There's our cabinet right there. Next thing I want to do, so we're done with this. That's all the instruction I gave. Everything else is now to decorate. Let me put that there. I'm going to take these little pieces and I'm going to move them off camera. I'm going to move this. The next thing that I am going to do is I have a wood textured stamp. Now, I do have the Tim Holtz, I forget what he calls them. Does he call them texture fades or something? Texture plates or something. Where I could texture it with the wood grain. I have that one. But I kind of wanted this all as one piece. I didn't want to piecemeal it. And this is really thick cardstock. I didn't think it would work with that. So I wanted to do stamping. I have this stamp. I actually got it, I think, on Temu. I don't even remember where I've gotten it. Yeah, I've had it a little bit. And I am stamping with Elements by Lavinia Stamps. And this is the color Truffle. I get covered when I stamp, and my block is just a smidge smaller than the stamp right here, but I didn't care. That didn't bother me. So I'm holding this closed. This is the perfect size for my piece. I'm going to hold this down. I'm going to give it a little bit of a wiggle. If you watched me do some of my other larger stamping things, I use my elbow because my hands aren't overly great. So don't mind the funky camera view. There's that. I want to come back in and I want to add more stamping. I don't need to ink up my whole thing. It's not going to be perfectly lined up, but I don't really need it to be. There. Next thing I need to do is wipe this because that's going to be a mess. Okay, while I have these out, I'm just going to stamp these real quick. I have a bunch of ink left on my stamp. These don't have to be perfect. Only a tiny bit of these are going to be seen. So I have these. And what I'm doing as I'm going along, because I lose all my things, is, don't mind my arm again, I'm getting a clip and I'm clipping things together and I'm putting it off to the side. Now I want to stamp the inside of my Apothecary. So what I'm doing is I am taking some sticky notes and I am masking off. I have used these sticky notes for a couple of projects now. They are well used. So let me pull this stamp back over here as I drop everything on the side of me. And I'm going to ink this back up again. This is a really good ink pad. All the Lavinia Stamp products are fantastic, I have to say. But for these ink pads, I'm super, super pleased. So I am lining it up here. I'm not over stamping there. I didn't feel the need to mask off right there. If this doesn't come out perfect, it's okay. There's that. Let me just do a little bit more ink so we can get down here. Great. I like that. Now I'm going to switch these to go this way. So I'm masking what I just stamped off so I can stamp the door. And it's going to be this side that I need to ink up. Sometimes I actually have to do it so I can see what I'm doing here. So slits, sort of. And it's okay if I overlap onto the yellow because it's masking off for me. There's that. We add just a little bit more so we can get the bottom. Let me clean this off. I don't care that it has that. I'm going to be adding shelves and bottles and all that fun stuff in here. So it's not really going to matter. I'm just flipping this over to that side to mask that off. And this time we're doing this side of the stamp. I'm coming off the paper a little bit up here, and obviously it's coming off over here. Elbow is my best way to do the stamping. And I want to make sure that I'm keeping that clean. And then, oh, let's do a little bit more ink over here. There. Next thing I want to do, I want to move this to the side. Remember that piece, one of those 2-inch pieces that we cut off? We're going to stamp that. This is going to be our shelving. There. So we have that stamped. I have a bunch of those pieces already stamped and cut as well. So I'm not actually going to be using this one unless I need to. But I do have some of those already cut and ready to roll. So now we are done with this stamp. I'm just going to wipe it off because I've been making a mess. And I'm going to bring in from a recycled package that I've been using all my bottles that I have stamped and then fussy cut. I have 3 types in here in a myriad of colors. Like I said, these were stamps that I got on Temu. I decorated the papers. You can use already decorated papers if you want. There are papers that have bottles on them. There are stickers that are bottles. I have a ton of those. That's what I'm going to use on the coordinating page. So I'm going to do that when I actually go to put the whole book together. The next thing that we want to do, let's pull this back in here. I started to do the layout of this, and I actually didn't cut that little slit at the bottom until near the end. So you can take this paper, and I cut it into strips, and these are like a quarter, yeah, they're about a quarter of an inch. That's how wide I cut these strips. So I cut it all up. I'm not going to do that right now because, like I said, I have a bunch. So what I did is I eyeballed it. And I eyeballed how wide I needed to cut these by putting it in and closing it. And then I eyeballed over here, and I get to this line right here. Let's eyeball that. You can measure it if you want. And then what I do is I come in and I close it. I don't like that. It's not short enough. And I just keep doing trims. There, that fits. So then what I did was I took a couple of these. I'm doing like 5 or 6 of them. And we're gonna cut that. Now, one thing that I want to do is look for my widest one. And then I have like some really, you know, I have some that are plain on the back. Actually, let me use this. I want to glue these together. This is going to be the base for that pull-out that almost looks like a drawer. Yeah, I need to poke this. Let me get a new pin. I even have witchy pins for my for my bottles. Okay, so let's glue this together just so it gives it a minute to dry. And I'm just layering one of my whiter ones with a scrap empty one that I had. So now this is thicker. This is obviously double the thickness. I will eventually need 2 of these. So for right now, I have a bunch of these blank ones, and I'm just going to glue 2 of these together. One is going to go at the top of the hidden journaling, and the other one is going to go at the bottom of the hidden journaling. So these are double thickness. Doesn't matter really how wide they are. I'm going to put these aside in here so I don't lose them, because you know I will. Okay, let me get back to what I was doing. So I was cutting these, and let me make sure one of those isn't fitting right. Might be that one. Nope, it wasn't that one. Let's see. Oh, it's this one. Let me just click a hair off that. Okay. What I want to do is I want to start gluing in my shelves. I measure by holding one of my bottles here and holding my shelf up. Okay, that's where I want to glue my shelf. This is, whoops, totally technical. This glue dries clear. And then, now that I have my shelf glued in, I start gluing in a variety of my witchy bottles. Now I need to make sure they stay within that fold and within that fold. And I'm just coming in and I'm gluing bottles. I'm putting them at different heights, but still, you know, maintaining that shelf. And I'm trying to mix up the colors so I don't have the same colors next to each other. Sort of. Let me put this one over here. Let's do this one next. So part of the trick is to have a bunch of these bottles pre-cut and ready to roll. I sat down last night while I was watching a movie and I just cut out a bunch of bottles. I had already pre-stamped them. Stamping is the easy part. It's the cutting them out that just takes a little bit of time. Now you can overlap the bottles. It just gives it a little bit more depth. There's my first row. I want to come in and I'm covered in ink. I'm covered in glue, I mean. So the next one I did the tall bottles. So I want to come in and measure these with these tall bottles. All right, that's going to fit right there. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to glue this shelf down. I'm keeping them as straight as I can. There, that fits. And now let's start gluing down these bottles. Now I have 3 stamped style bottles. And then I have a couple more that are die cut. I'll add those later. Yep, that's going to stay in there. Let's do a green one. So the more sort of variety of bottles that you have, the more, I think, visually appealing that it is. And I have not only a variety of sizes of bottles, but a variety of colors of bottles. Let's add that one there. That one there. And whoops. Gonna do that one. And that one. There. I want to start building some shelves over here on this side. So for this side, what I did was more of those tall bottles. So let's get some of these bottles and let's measure these. Now I haven't pre-cut this one yet. Yep, that's gonna work. Let me cut, no, not that one. No. Okay, let's cut a couple of these to size while I'm here. Okay. I mean, I just tried to have everything sort of stamped and coordinated and, I don't know, ready to roll. Yep, that's going to work. Let's glue some of these bottles in, making sure I maintain within that fold. Glue that one in, and then let's do this one in the front. And I'm using art glitter glue, which I think dries relatively quickly. Next one I want to do is I want to measure this one. So let's glue that there. That's still going to close. Yep. Glue that one in. How many of these bottles do I have left? I don't want to run out. You know what? Let's do... I don't want to run out of these either, but let's do that one and that one there. And then down here, I need a shelf that I'm just going to do on the very, very bottom. I'm going to fill that in a minute. And I want to come over. Let's grab a couple of these. Let's come over here. I want to do some of these tall bottles here. So let me cut that there. Let me give that a better trim. So these shelves are coming out to be 2 1/4, just like what we did with the fold. Same size. Could I cut it with my paper cutter? Sure. Will I? No. I kind of like this way of doing things. This just kind of works for me. So let's put that shelf there, and let's add that bottle. And let's add this bottle. And then this shelf, I need it to be big enough for these. Where did I put my shelf pieces? Is this it? Nope, that's not it. Oh, did I cut? Maybe I need to cut some more. Thought I just had some. Okay, let me move these aside. That's the other shelf. Okay. Let me cut 2 of these. Get rid of that. Okay. So I know one of these has to go at the very, very bottom. Oops. So let me do that right. Yep. Right there. Oh, I do have an extra one. Is that it? Yeah, I thought I had one cut. Okay. And this one I'm going to do, I want to measure this. So I want to put that one approximately right there. I'm not measuring these to be equal with these rows. I don't care if those rows match up. That's not my goal. Put that one there. We'll put that one there. Those 2 I need to save. And then we need to add some of these down the bottom on both sides. So those are kind of overlapping those just a smidge, but that's all right. It gives it depth. There. Let's put that one there. And we'll put that one there. And let me double check yes, that's still gonna fold nicely. You know, I said before that I have some die cut ones. Let me grab those. So it was this die cut that I used for the bottles, and this, I have this, whoops, this is a die cut that I used for that front closure. Let me just pull, I mixed everything up in here. Let me pull out some bottles from this die cut. And let's add a couple of these bottles throughout. These bottles were in like 2 pieces. Some of them I liked and some of them I didn't like. That's what I mean. There's an outline. It's kind of weird. Okay. Let's fill in with some of these. So let's put that one there. We are going to put, is that going to fit? Let me see. Oh yeah, that will fit there. Okay. We'll put that one there. And these are papers that I decorated as well. Once I get these all on here, I'm going to give you a closer look. I like this one. Oh, actually, I like that one there. And this one wants to come apart, but I'm going to glue it together so it stays together. I know it's like the same colors right next to each other. Yeah, I'm going to glue that one there. That was the inside of one of those ones, but that's all right. It still looks like a funky bottle. I think I might be good. Do I want to add that there? No, I think I'm good. I think I'm good with the bottles. Let me give you a close-up of the bottles. I think these are just super cute. Okay, I am going to temporarily move this out of my way so I can show you how I did the opening. Down at, oops, let me get those pieces out too. I stuck those in here. We're going to need these. These were the ones that we glued together. I can move all of this off to the side because we're done with all of these pieces. Let's close up my scissors. Let me move this out of the way. We'll bring that back in a moment. I have a cutting board here. Now, do not ask me where my X-Acto knife went. That up and walked away as well. So what I've got is my knife. My knife. And it works perfectly fine. We know this shelf is going to go right here. I want this to go just almost in the middle of where this will be. So let me line this up. This is my metal edged ruler. Yeah, it cut on the first go around. There. Okay. Next thing I want to do is I want to decide what paper is going to go inside for my journaling. And I have a collection over here. That one's too small. That one's too small. Let's do this one. And I'm going to cut that right there by eyeballing it. Double check it. I want this smaller, narrower than my line. So you know what? I'm going to take another smidge off. Oh, where's my knife? Let's put that somewhere safer. Let's take just a hair off that. So the actual cut going across, let me measure that so I can give you the measurement. Get this out of the way. That is 4.5. This is 4.5. This is 3 3/4. Now I don't need it this long, so I'm going to trim it right here. Oops, sorry. Just eyeballing all of this. I do best when I eyeball things. I'm not like strict with measurements. I am, because you guys are here. Next thing I want to do is I want to thread this through. And then the bottom here, let me move all these little bits. The bottom here, I want to glue this on the edge. So I want to line this up where I want it to be. And then I'm going to come in and I'm going to glue this so that it lines up. And I'm only going to put glue on the top half. Top half only. And I'm lining that up. Just making sure it's not, yeah, see, I don't want that glue there. Let me wipe this glue up here. Okay. There. Next thing that I want to do is I want to flip this whole thing around and I want to glue this to the top. This, it lined up right actually. I want this a little bit wider and longer than this paper. This has to be a smidge longer. So let's glue that right on. And this is going to be obviously the hidden journaling. And then next thing I want to do, you can either have some leftover strips or you can cut some strips. But the deal is you need some more strips. It doesn't matter how big they are. You need it to be this from here to here size. We are going to glue these down as a guide. This is what's going to hold this paper in. It's a guide. And look, this isn't going to be able to go past this. So this is multi-purpose. It keeps this in there straight, but it also doesn't allow this to go past this. So let's get this cracking. All I'm going to do is glue a tip and a tip right there just to those two ends. I do not want any glue on that hidden journaling. I'm doing this near the bottom. I'm not doing it at the bottom. I don't know, it's approximately an inch above this. Let me just make sure that nothing is glued here. Yep, it's not touching. It didn't glue it in is what I'm checking. Perfect. Perfect. Let's just do a couple bottles on the edge here. And I saved these guys. I don't think I'm going to do those. I saved these guys. Now, we're only going to glue these to the shelf at the bottom. We do not glue the whole thing. We only want that little bit amount of glue right there on the bottom. Little amount of glue right on the bottom. Just makes it look like, I mean, you can add more, but don't glue them to this because this needs to move. Now, I contemplated like putting a flower, like I have these flower buttons, putting a flower button to give it like a pull thing, but this worked for me. Okay, now let's decorate the rest of this because that's done. That's our hidden journaling. It's in there and it's done. See, it doesn't pull past that. That's the mechanism right there. Simple Simon. Super easy. And adorable. How cute. Now, I might come back in and do like little labels and little numbers on my bottles, but for now, I'm good with that. Let me pop that back in there. There. Okay. Next thing that I want to do is I want to do my feet and I want to do some Velcro with that closure. So I had a couple closures that I cut. I did some with silver paper. But then I have these. I don't know, I kind of like that one. I might do that one actually. And then we're going to need the foliage. So what I did is I did it right over that line where I stamped. Let me grab, well, let me glue half of it first. So I glued only this side down. As I get half the glue on me. So I glued that down, and I'm holding that down pretty firmly. Making sure I don't have glue everywhere else. Let me grab some glue dots. These are sort of smaller glue dots. I got these on Amazon a long time ago. I had forgotten I had them. And I needed glue dots the other day too. So what I do is I attach that there. I am going to add a little bit of glue on this one. And I'm going to give that a hold. I'm going to pull out my signature that I'm going to be attaching this to, which is an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper folded in half. And I said this was copy weight paper that has been coffee stained. There. I want to measure where I want this. I am going to glue the feet here and here. Okay, so that's how tall this one's going to be. So if I want this trimmed a little bit, I can. So that's another reason for this one going across, is so we can glue in the feet. Let me make sure those are even. Pretty even. All right, now let's glue this in. So I'm going to glue the feet, and I'm going to glue up top here. I could add a little bit of glue here and here. And then I want this right on the very bottom. There. And now I want to come in and add some of my decoration. I have a whole bunch of little flower pots that I made. And I wanted to show you how I made my flower pots. I came in at an angle, 3/4 of the way up. And then I came in and cut in this way. So I came in, cut an angle. You could draw it if you wanted, but I like to live life on the edge. There's my flower pot. This paper I got in one of those paper packs from the Dollar Tree. And then these are the Tim Holtz and Sizzix dies. So let's glue some of these in. And I want to add glue to the foliage. I typically only buy black, white, and brown paper. My colored papers that I get like this, I get in those paper packs from the Dollar Tree. Now, where? Oh, there it is. It's right here in front of me. I have my witch's conical hat here. I have a couple more of these cloches. I like this one. We're going to add that one right there. This is stamped and fussy cut. You know how to do that. Let's add that there. I like the hat here, but I want a couple more of these flower pots. And then I have some vining that I had coming down kind of from these flower pots. I'm going to do this one, I think. And like I said, this was that die cut set from Tim Holtz and Sizzix. Just gonna add that there. The glue will dry clear. Let's do a couple more of these. And then we're done. you know, the trick was I had everything ready. I had my die cuts. I had my fussy cutting things. You know, I had that stuff. So if you're going to do a project like this, prepare ahead. Have your bits and pieces ready to go. You know, I'm not saying this was a 2-second project to put together, because it wasn't. This took me days to put everything together. Whoops. But I think it was worth the work. There. I think that's cute. So that's what we have up top. We have some vining coming down. We have our closure. We open it up. We have our bottles. We have our hidden journaling. Oh my gosh. I am just ecstatic with this project. I think this project is adorable. Well, we did get it all done. I'm surprised. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please like and subscribe to my channel. I would really appreciate it. Pass it on. Let everybody know I do post a video every single day, especially this month because I'm working on my Season of the Witch journal. Thank you so much for tuning in. Love to see what you create. Tag me on Instagram. I'm KrisAnne1234. Take care and be free.